was heard a few kilometers from the Eagle Square, venue of the festivity. Surprisingly, it was a car bomb that detonated. In a swift response, the police and other sister security operatives converged at the scene of the incident in order to ascertain what went wrong and to prevent further loss of lives and property. Barely 10 minutes later, another car bomb exploded on the same scene. This time, casualties were recorded. Civilians and security operatives, including 11 policemen, made the list of victims of the blast. Vehicles within the vicinity of the incident were not spared, as they were reduced to scraps by flames. The crew of crime fighters visited the scene and hospital, where some of the victims were being treated. Responding, the victims narrated their traumatic experiences.
On that date, I was on duty, official duty, with my co-officers and rank and file. So I think immediately the operation started inside the Eagle Square because we were outside conducting vehicles, securing the area. The first blast took place down from where we were staying. As people started rushing to capture what was going on. Most of some of all the security agents we have to ship down to that place to prevent them of going nearer to the fire. Having gotten there, the first bomb that engulfed the other vehicle spread up to about 3 vehicles in our presence. We were there with other officers, SS, other security agencies trying to ship people, prevent them from going nearer to the scene. Unfortunately, as we were coming up from the first scene, suddenly I had another blast. That's the one that affected me. I was covered with the big dust, the smoke. I fell down. I wanted to help myself, there was no leg. Then I have to use my hand to screw on my buttocks, get myself out from the fire. So that's how I managed to escape.
When the first blast went up, normally I want to go and know why or what's happening there because my car was parked there. So I strolled down and noticed that 4 cars were burning 7 cars away from mine. And I thought it was one of these balloons. Nothing occurred to me like a bomb. I didn't have any pre-information or bomb stories. So I saw 4 cars burning towards my car. Then I now saw another man standing in front of his own car, 3 cars away from where my Jeep was parked because of the dark cloud. I now met the man and said, what happened? While we're now talking, he said he doesn't know. So there was an explosive that ignited this fire, and he's contemplating on how to drive out of here. And I said, the same thing with me. How are we going out of here now because of how tight the environment was? And while we're both busy talking, there's this still voice in me that came up that, Austin, leave this place within me. Yeah. I believe I was warned by God to leave that place 5 minutes before. So I noticed that 4 minutes later, I was about taking a step. I wanted to take a step when I heard that blast behind me. All I know is that it like a supernatural hand lifted me from with my suit, threw me across the road. I turned back immediately and saw that people were burning at that very spot I was standing. I noticed the copper was standing across. The car we were standing together, he died immediately, instantly. And an SSS man too. I don't know, was holding gun. I was trying to, clear the crowd. So with that fire burning, I was now wondering how I got to where I was. Then I looked down my left leg and noticed the fracture. My bones, the shoe was left. The bones were outside clear. I could see them. I looked at my left finger, I was conscious. My left hand, the ring finger, the tip chopped off, and some deep cuts on the other one, the middle finger and the last finger. So I was screaming because I noticed blood all over my face, bleeding. But right inside me, I was conscious. So I called for help. A good citizen rushed into that thick smoke and saw that I was shouting and screaming for help. They rushed me to National Hospital here, the emergency ward, and brought me out. Immediately we got here, the nurses, the first nurse I met here, I think, okay, she just left here. Her name is Roslyn. Was too nice. She just came, called them. All I know is that they attended to me instantly. In no distance, I started talking and calling numbers for them to call, who to call and who not to call. And from that was Friday morning to today. They've been working and I've been responding to treatment.
Prior to these unfortunate incidents, the Nigerian police force deployed about 1,000 men to the venue of the Independence Day celebration, and other security measures were also put in place in order to avoid any occurrence.
We had deployments on ground. We have the bomb squad support from all across the country. And we isolated the Eagle Square, which was scanned all through the night up to the time the parade was taking place. So we had good deployment on ground. We had a good number of officers that were present, that had been properly briefed. And we created diversions, indeed about 11 of them. If we didn't have those diversions in place, that traffic probably would have turned right, and the impact is better imagined.
Already, the police have declared 2 suspects wanted in connection with the ill-fated incident that has once again poured mud on the image of the nation. In March this year, a bomb blast was also recorded in Warri, Delta State, injuring 2 persons. In May, a car bomb exploded near a hotel in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, where the state's deputy governor lodged. Also this year, one Sheyi Ahmed attempted to blow up Christ Embassy on Legomo House, Onikpan, Lagos, but had a premature detonation which affected both Sheyi and Superscreen Television, which was on the same building. Ironically, a bomb is cheap to make and non-dangerous at sight, but the effect that it produces as a result when detonated is devastating and catastrophic.
These bombs, they kill by different ways. They kill by what we call shock wave. Then they kill by what we call fragmentation. Now, when a military bomb detonates, it breaks into pieces called fragments, shrapnels. These shrapnels travel at a very, very fast speed when the military bomb is brought to detonation, to the extent that if these pieces happen to touch you, they will kill you. That is, if you are not already killed, if you are not within the vicinity of a blast, you are not going to be killed by way of shock wave. But if you are outside the vicinity, you could be killed by fragmentation.
This recent crime poses a huge challenge for security operatives in the country. The Nigerian police force have taken proactive steps above the perpetrators of the disheartening act with the aim of averting future occurrences.
I am sure these evil people wanted to cause more damage. It's because they couldn't get to some of the places they intended. That's why they just went on the road. Unfortunately, its lives were lost. So all I will say, our vulnerable points are key points. Our police 24/7. Our surveillance is on all the vulnerable points. Just think of it. All key points and vulnerable points are effectively covered by our anti-terrorism squad, the police anti-bomb squad, and plainclothes officers. Of course, in collaboration with other security agencies, whom we relate with on a daily or on a regular basis, sharing intelligence. Because we believe in adopting this kind of method, you've got to be proactive. You've got to partner with other security agencies in doing that, we've been able to cover these important places. We regard NNPC, the Federal Secretariat, commercial areas, all this, we've taken adequate measures to cover. And we believe that the public can also come to our help by partnering with us, by volunteering information to us, by telling us of suspicious happenings within their environment. This will go a long way in ensuring total security for all and sundry.
Coincidentally, the anti-bomb squad of the Nigerian police force just concluded a 5-week intensive training program for about 100 officers and men drawn from different commands on explosive ordnance disposal, EOD, in Shagamu, Ogun State. These personnel will be absorbed into the anti-bomb and anti-terrorist squad of the force. While the Nigerian police force and other security operatives are out there doing their best possible in ensuring we have a crime-free society, it is our civic duty to also provide them with useful information regarding suspicious activities of individuals within and outside our respective communities. Most importantly, we must be vigilant in order to help the police function effectively in the discharge of their statutory obligation of providing security to both lives and properties of all and sundry.
The police and you, the men are still in action.